There we go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Podcast
Hey.
week of September or something or another. Thank you for joining us today. Unique day. We got Christy in the middle running the show today.
Okay.
Podcast intimidate her a little bit.
Just a little.
Why?
Lights, cameras, on the spot. We don't get the questions ahead of time. I like to be prepared, so I'm just nervous. It's like being on an interview without knowing what you're being
Yeah,
asked.
because if you get questions before time, then they're not natural and raw in the moment.
Yeah, but I can curate my perfect answers.
Exactly.
I
And
like
we don't
that.
want the perfect answer. We want the real raw answer.
I just embarrass myself every time. So
Did you watch any podcast? Last week you were on here, you said, I don't watch podcasts. No, you said, I don't watch this church podcast. You watch podcasts,
I watched
just not the church.
I watched Maddie's and Samantha's, and I commented and said, "Hey, just want to let everybody know I watched this podcast." So
Watch it on
honest.
Facebook or YouTube?
YouTube,
YouTube.
yeah,
And that was the movie one,
yes.
where we were going back over the reviews of the movies.
Y'all were talking about
Like Rocky. Rocky was in it. Having a conversation about Rocky.
maybe y'all were talking about Blindside. Y'all had this whole debacle about trying to figure out
Yeah.
the movie, whether it was Blindside or Facing Giants or whatever. So it was Facing Giants the whole time.
So you said whenever you used to be at school, you would watch these all the time because you're traveling from school to school. Now
Yes.
you get consumed with church work and you've stopped watching them.
I have not been as diligent watching the podcast, no.
Hopefully you are watching them. If not, then
Does like does like an actor go back and watch his movies? Yes.
every time.
Okay, no excuses then. I was
Okay,
about to say.
all right.
I can
Add it to the list.
Add it to
Weekly
the list of
task.
things
weekly
to do.
task. We're doing it.
Watch the podcast. What's on my checklist?
Watch the podcast. So Johnny and Christy are married.
Yes.
How long you been married?
7 years since August 1st, 2015.
If you spit out your
Good
gum, it'd be
job.
great. That way we can kind of hear you chewing in the mic.
Sorry, that's a John Senior thing. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna swallow it.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
7 years.
7 years.
How
A
many
long
of
time.
those were good years? I'm just kidding. That's an old dad joke. Kapooch.
He's like, Johnny, don't answer that one.
They're all fantastic.
All right. So the last time we had Johnny on, maybe not last week, but the time before, we talked about the struggle of ministry and having a husband and wife in ministry together. And ultimately, y'all thought that if you ever went on staff somewhere, Johnny wouldn't be able to go on staff because what church hires a husband and wife duo, and vice versa. If Johnny went on staff, you would have to be never in full-time ministry. And so now here y'all are on staff together, officially 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, since the summer started.
And it has been, in one word,
Awesome.
baloney.
She got that question early.
It's been interesting. Very
Interesting.
different. We've only ever, I feel like, until we moved here, we've only ever been in ministry together. That sounds weird, but we're still in ministry together, but like serving in the same spot together or supporting one another. So there's always been that balance to work out. And now it's like you are on your own. You have your responsibilities. He has his responsibilities. So it's been a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. What's our word? What's your word?
Interesting.
I mean, there's you can't just use, I feel like, one word for it. I would say unique.
Okay. Unique. I like it. Unique's a good word.
Okay, good. I'm
But
glad you like it.
we were also told, like, by ministers that we would never be able to serve together in ministry. That either one of us would have to be the one leading and the other one would have
Right.
to be, like, the helpmate. And that was all the options were for us. So in our heads, we were like, this is the only way that it works.
Yeah, and so never really thought through the process of what happens if we're on staff together.
Yeah, never even, like, dreamed about it or thought about it because we were like, oh, well, that idea is shot down.
And
Either
I-
he's called or I'm called. We can't be called together. It was weird.
Yeah, and I really saw, honestly, just from my perspective, I saw a little bit of that whenever y'all first got here of you at times I'll be really submissive to Johnny, whatever he needs, and then you weren't shining in all of your giftings.
Right.
And then there were times where he was just, he'd say stuff like, oh, I'm just Christy Killman's husband, and he'd say those things, and then he wouldn't shine in his giftings. And it still happens at times now, but especially when y'all first got here, there was that balance of we both can't shine. One of us has to be submissive to the other one's vision, and we have to almost shine that one up or support that one, and then I'll just be in a support role, which is amazing and incredible, and probably the role that the majority of ministers watching this and their spouses will take and will have to take. So you walk into a season where, okay, now church is growing, things are amazing, it's incredible. You had 194 last week in Kids Point. It's awesome. It's incredible. We had 9 baptized last Sunday. So it's cool. Awesome. Yeah. Getting them plugged in, getting them, connected into small groups, all that sort of stuff. So now both of you are thriving in this season, and you're in the office, you're working together, you go home. Johnny said, I'm quoting, "We never talk about ministry at home." Is that the quote, Caleb? Was that the quote?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
But the context was like the problem, like the big events, the problems, or like I would say big events, like the things that I didn't even know, like preschool. Like I didn't even know what's happening with the crux of the step-by-step process of making it happen. So like things like that, or issues that.
So is it weird that a couple watching this or a spouse watching this, they go home and they talk about ministry with their spouse? Is that weird?
I don't think it's weird. No. I would say that we don't know all the details about everything that's happening. Like, I don't go home. I don't have enough time in the day to go home and say, Johnny, this happened. However, I feel like I do give big highlights, and especially he knows if there's an issue going on because it weighs heavy on my mind.
Sure.
And so I talk it out, whether or not he provides advice or just is there to listen. He's a fixer. He wants to fix things, but I
try not
just
to.
Need you to listen.
Because what you said in that podcast is y'all are out looking at sunrises and sunsets. And
No.
Is that what he said, Caleb? Is that pretty close as well? Play it back.
That was his curated answer for the podcast.
No, I didn't get those questions. And that's the problem.
No. So seriously, like, I feel like as couples in ministry, if you're not careful, you only have conversation about your kids and you only have conversation about ministry, and you stop talking about or to each other about things in your life. So y'all obviously don't have kids yet, but ministry in a top 5 list of conversations y'all have, ministry, the church, the kingdom of God, rank it 1 through 5. This is probably our most talked about or our least talked about subject.
You go first.
I would rank it probably 1 or 2. 1 being like the most talked about. Yeah. Events, different things that happen, questions, even like things in the Bible, or like contemplating, like, what was the question we thought about the other day? We were driving down the road. I can't remember, but it was something like a deep theological thought. Why don't we put God first? Or why don't we, I don't even remember what it was. Something about in foreign countries, they have to rely on him so much, but we don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's one of those
top
questions.
Number 1.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
What about you?
Say.
For me, I would say probably like 3.
Really? What's above it? What's the top 2 things above it?
A truck.
Besides your truck, your new truck you're getting.
I would just say like 1. Can we put like random? Does other go into the top? Like just like, or no? We want specific genre. If I would say specific genre, I'd say like plan. Like, what do you want to do? Like
Personal. Like, oh, we want to expand our family is probably number 1.
Or like, do you want to go do this? Or what if we did this? Or but a lot of this, like, we just go home and veg out a lot of times. Like all of our conversations,
So
really
done.
happen like on our 25-minute drive home. Like there's, you have
so random family future stuff. What's number 2?
I would say the random would like be in the family planning, stuff like that. And then and then ministry. I compartmentalize things, so I try to leave it here, for like ministry stuff. I try not to, unless it's just something happens, like I get a phone call and it's something that weighs heavy on you, then I talk about it.
Caleb, if you had to say in our family's conversation, top 5 things we talk about, 1 through 5, where would ministry, church related things fall in that 1 through 5 category?
2 or 3.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I would say
number 1 being family events, sports.
Yeah, I would say definitely having conversation about life. We have those conversations, but I definitely think ministry is very, very high on the list, because it can be as simple as a worship song that's playing on the Alexa and us talking about, singing it here and what that looks like. So yeah, it's tricky though, because you don't want your life to be consumed with this is all you talk about, because you work together all day long and then all you do is talk about your job. Yeah. It seems. So what is the balance between this is a job and this is ministry and you're called to it and you're building the kingdom of God, and you're also married to someone inside of the office that's trying to do the exact same thing? Because us as ministers, we want to give our lives to it, right? Mm-hmm. Every part of who we are. Mm-hmm. Us as workers understand we have to have time off from the job, right? But then you add on top of that you're married inside of that, seems extremely tricky to me.
Yeah, I would say,
and I'm saying that from a place because my wife is here.
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, we are basically the same person when it comes to ministry. Like if we had to be at the church 24/7, we would totally be fine with it. It's just our heart. So if it comes up, it's not hard to, it's not one of those things that's like, stop talking about
there's no fights of, hey, I got to go to the church and do this. It's like, yeah, let's go.
No, it's one of those things where like, I'll just go to my office, and even if I'm not doing anything, I'll just go to my office and, watch a YouTube video, read the Bible, whatever.
What are you watching on YouTube? Not the podcast.
Yeah, not the podcast. Probably like either some stupid theological debate or
from who? Who's debating?
Dr. Michael Brown.
I love him.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. I like to see James White, even though he's like the opposite end of the spectrum. Ruslan, he's kind of annoying sometimes though. But then I'll go on the opposite.
Ruslan, sorry about that. He didn't mean that like that.
Sometimes it's clickbait. And then the other stuff is like golf videos. So I'll watch like GM Golf, Good Golf.
We should play golf sometime.
Yeah, this Friday.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Oh, yay. I love golf.
I haven't played golf in, we were talking about this yesterday. I haven't played golf in 3 or 4 months. So
what does unwinding look like for y'all?
The couch.
Sitting on the couch watching TikTok videos.
The couch. Yeah. We're together on the couch, either watching something together or we're watching something different just on the couch together, just to kick back. And that's the number one.
Holding hands.
Sometimes.
As the sun is setting.
No.
No.
Not usually.
No. And Christy could do that every day.
I would.
And you live a busy life here. So our schedule here is Monday we're here all day long because of prayer.
Right.
So we get done, and then after prayer we're pulling staples. So we leave here, we'll call it 9 o'clock every Monday.
Sure.
Tuesday we get out at 4:30, and then we are in softball season right now. So both of you are playing co-ed softball with my wife and son, and I'm just out there being a cheerleader on the sideline. So Tuesday night we have softball. Last night the game was at 7:45. We didn't leave the field till 9 o'clock. Getting home late. Wednesday we have church all day. We're here working all day, all the way through church. Leave at 9 o'clock or so. Thursday we are here until 4:30.
And we have
small group, and then we have softball after that. Game is 8:45 on Thursday night. Friday we have the day off most of the time, as much as we can, and then Saturday is always something on Saturday,
usually,
or cleanup going into Sunday,
right? Being at an event, or most of the time an outreach event or things of that nature. So, and then Sundays all day long.
Now we get the evenings.
The evenings,
So we used to have the 6 p.m. service.
Sometimes
Well, I mean, we
have
have
meet
team
the staff
rally. We have things of
lunch.
that nature on
Yeah.
Sunday evening. So
We get like
this,
one or two.
This week we have
Sundays.
team rally Sunday night, and then we have Prince of Egypt movie night after team
Yeah.
rally. So Sunday's a busy day.
Sure,
So.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'm not thinking.
When you list it like that, it sounds unhealthy. But it really isn't. Like, that's the thing I was going to say is, like, it's not really a battle between, like, oh, this is work. Because for us, I don't know. It's different for me. I felt the struggle when I was working for the school district of, like, almost guilty that I had to be at another job knowing that I could be doing so much more.
Yeah.
Kingdom work. And I hate saying that because if you're a doctor, or if you work at Dollar General, or if you work at Walmart, or if you work at a fast food restaurant, you're working for the kingdom. I mean, there's kingdom minded principles that can be put into that. But for my heart and for the calling that I felt like God had on my life, I knew, man, there's so much more that I need to be doing. And I would feel so guilty having to use that time separately. So being here, being able to do what I did at school, plan curriculum, manage a team of volunteers, all of those kinds of things that I was doing at a school here, I get to do that full time, but it doesn't feel like a full-time job. It's hard to explain. When you do what you love and you do what, God has called you to, it doesn't feel like work.
I agree totally.
I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, we're
though.
not-
We
Which
probably
means
sound
when
crazy.
people tell us things like, hey, you need to take time off, we struggle with that because we don't feel like we're working because we love what we're doing.
Like, we want to come in on a Friday. It feels really weird. I haven't gotten used to the Friday thing yet. Making that the Sabbath. I truly think it's Saturday, and I think I need to be prepping to get ready for Sunday because I forget that I have 2 days. I've never had 2 days on the weekend ever. So it just feels weird.
So with a busy schedule, how do y'all do dinner at night?
Fast
Fast
food is
food.
terrible.
so bad.
We are absolutely the worst family when it comes to meal planning.
Yeah.
How many nights a week do you cook in your house?
Never.
One maybe.
Yeah.
One asterisk mark.
Maybe.
One maybe.
That'll definitely
what
have to
night
change
is
with
that?
kids. Like a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
It's never a weekday
Yeah. Because I
because
mean,
we're never home. We're never home.
So is it fast food like Burger King, or is it fast food like run through Olive Garden and get at least a nice meal just
Nah.
fast?
nah, it's
Usually fast
cookout,
food.
Taco Bell.
So terrible.
It's so bad.
We're literally killing
Caleb's
ourselves.
like, can I move in with y'all? Is that what you're
Awful.
thinking?
It's so terrible.
Yeah, it's
How many nights a week do we eat fast food?
Let's go. So we calling all not dining at home, or just fast food in general?
Yeah, just fast food in general.
So
2?
2 to 3.
Yeah, I'd say 2 or 3.
Monday night after prayer, if no one cooks.
Wednesday night normally.
Wednesday night, and then maybe a Friday,
Maybe
Saturday.
maybe a random
depending
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Monday and Wednesdays are locked. Like they're for sure a fast food night.
Running home, grabbing something on the way.
Yeah, and then
Maybe Tuesday, depending on what time our game is for softball. Thursday for sure if Allison cooks something for our small group, but never us like cooking anything.
Do you think that's normal for most people's lives? I don't know what normal life is now.
I don't either. I don't know.
Do you think that's normal for most people's lives, that their life is just so busy that they eat so much fast food every single night and very rarely sit down and eat together?
I would say so.
It's I mean, it's just
Or
convenient.
maybe not. Maybe
I don't
throw
know.
that up in the.
Maybe we're
Is this
normal.
normal? How many nights a week? Okay, here's the question for the
Yeah.
week. Put up the poll. Here
so
we go.
Embarrassing.
How many nights a week do you eat fast food? Okay, the answers are going to be 0 to 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5,
Or every
or
night.
or above 5. Okay,
Probably the above 5.
I can't wait to hear some of
That's
these
awful.
answers.
And you want to vomit when you look at the amount of money you
Yeah,
spend
go
on
to your
food.
bank account. You could
It's
you could have another
terrible.
house for how much money you spend in fast food.
Yeah, it's awful. It's so terrible.
It's wild.
Because not only do we eat fast food at night when we're done, but most of the time during the day,
Yeah.
very rarely do we bring a meal with us. Most of the time at lunchtime here, we're going out and getting something and bringing it in and eating here. And
Yeah.
so
Instead of food being our first thought, it's almost like it's our last thought.
you're like,
okay,
oh,
well,
junk.
scramble.
Yeah, scramble.
We're
Hurry.
gonna-
Somebody
we're
go
gonna
get
figure it out.
something and bring it here because we need food.
We don't have time.
What do you do for breakfast? Obviously, this is healthy. If we're eating 2 bad
Grab and
meals a day.
go.
Or
On a
I'm
good
not
day,
big
a
breakfast
protein
person,
shake.
So I don't really eat too much breakfast. I maybe eat like a granola bar or something like that. Maybe.
He's fasting because his other 2 meals bring him in plenty of calories
Yeah.
for the day.
Smart move. Smart move.
Well, I'm held over from dinner the night before. So
Terrible.
How about working out? How do you take care of your body?
I went once with Chris Lovelace.
He tore
at
you
ISI.
up, didn't he?
It was crazy.
You couldn't walk the next or 2 days
I
later.
went
You were
like
like
a zombie.
"Oh."
I was walking like a zombie the next couple days. But
So you've been a pretty active fella.
yeah,
How are you going to stay active as you grow old? Because, man, when I hit 30, I gained 40 pounds from 30 to 32.
God, if I gain 40 pounds and I'm 30, I'm in trouble.
I'm not
2 more
exaggerating.
years.
I went from 160 to 200 from 30 to 32.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm playing like softball and, was doing kickball, doing basketball in the mornings. It's like a trick to get your heart rate up is to go play a sport.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, I don't really know what the answer is. I know the answers. Like, I know what I should be doing, but whether I'll do that or not, that's another story. I don't know. Like,
So no plan.
yeah, like I have no strategy for, I'm going to go to ISI 2 days a week and make sure I stretch in the mornings and
Christy?
eat water.
I feel like this podcast is going south for us. I should be in the mornings, but I choose sleep over that recently. Does softball count? I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that it counts, but that's most of the time, 2 times a week. But other than that, it's probably a solid 2 times a week.
My wife is so impressive. She wakes up every
She's
single morning,
awesome.
5:30 in the morning, and works out every single
Good
morning.
for her.
Wow.
I need to do that.
I think on Sundays you burn enough calories walking
I
around.
feel
say-
like
stuff
it.
here.
They say a
To last all
sermon.
week long.
Like that's a Zumba workout.
They say a
Worship
good
in
sermon
Kids
is like
Point
an
is a
8-hour
Zumba
workout.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
Oh, it's for sure true.
You used to get a
definitely
marathon
burn
in
enough
one day.
calories.
4 services in one
You
day.
put one
that
of
was-
those heart rate monitor systems on you.
well, I
so
will say the
like
only
sports
day that I
science?
close all of my rings is Sunday.
Wow.
I'm
Believe it.
definitely closing all my rings on Sunday. So,
You're running around all over the
but my
place.
wife is a beast. She wakes up every single morning and works out. There she is. Come here.
Hola.
Come here. Come podcast with us.
Come join.
Welcome.
This is about marriage ministry. I mean, marriage in ministry. Is that what you call it?
Sure.
Tell the people.
We were just talking about how awesome you are and how you work out.
yeah.
Johnny called you a robot.
I think you're hitting the ball
Robot.
further too because you're working out.
Crushing it.
I think it's because I have more confidence now.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
I was gonna go
I
with
think
like bigger
it's-
biceps.
You don't go up nervous.
I mean, they are getting bigger. They are. But I don't think that's it. I just
Crushing
think
it.
it's the fact that I don't care now. Like before, when you first start playing and you've never played before, you're kind of a little
jitters.
It's
nervous.
intimidating, yeah.
It is, and now it's like,
It's fun.
if I get all the outs in both innings, it's fine, like I did last game. But
What are you doing down there?
How are the stairs? Are you out of breath?
I'm a little out of breath.
Me too. Every time I walk up.
That's a workout. Hey, yeah.
hot here.
We walk
It is
around the
warm.
church all
what
the time.
What were you doing down there in the foyer?
We're making shoe boxes for Operation Christmas Child.
It's her favorite event.
It is. So we're talking about the difficulty. Can you see her in the camera? She good? Okay. So we're talking about the difficulties of marriage and ministry and being around each other all day long and going home and not talking about ministry all the time and having to eat fast food all the time, and it's just a busy life that we live, and not all the time does Johnny does a lot of sunrise sunset stuff.
That's
A lot.
That's
what he said.
False.
No,
Um,
I did say. I said it's one of the things.
I love to do it.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
Yikes.
It was his curated answer.
So, for us, how many nights a week do you think we eat fast food?
5.
That's awesome. Us too. Maybe 7.
It's so hot in here.
It is so
It is
hot.
warm.
I said, me and Caleb said 2.
I gotta take this sweater off.
Okay, take the sweater off. Forgive
right.
us. And turn that camera away. No, I'm just kidding. I would say she's considering are you considering like going out to eat and eating like
Olive Garden?
I think I only cook maybe 3 meals.
Look
a
here,
week.
Say it again.
I think I only cook maybe three meals a week at the most.
Yeah, so that's
I can't imagine though Olive Garden or something like that is like is healthier than McDonald's. That's a hot take.
hot take.
I think it depends on what you order.
I'll do the research.
I agree. I think it
It's
depends
true.
on what you order.
If you get that Alfredo with all that greasy cheese,
of course, and eat 3 breadsticks.
Keto, it's fine. It's keto. You don't get
The chicken nuggets. The chicken nuggets are keto.
But
No,
you
they're not. That's fake meat. It's pink. You ever watch the
tofu.
movie?
What? Who did that? Who
Pink
did that show?
slime.
His name was
Super Size Me? The
no,
documentary?
no, the guy who Jamie
Oliver.
Oliver, is that his name?
The British dude who can't cook.
But he like went behind the scenes on how they made actual chicken nuggets.
I
It
don't
is
wanna see
gross.
I don't want to know.
Oh, they're pink slime. It's like a tube of pink
It's
slime.
ground chicken.
It's
It-
pink.
Yeah,
They grind, but they
full
grind up
body chunk.
everything. They grind up the bones and everything.
I'm good with that.
The
I'm
beak
good
and
with
the
that.
claw and everything.
I'm good with it.
I don't know that to be
Feathers.
true. I don't know if that's actual true,
Yeah.
but that's what I heard.
Put some sweet and sour sauce
So-
on that thing. It's fine.
So, a lot of fast food,
Mm.
a lot of unhealthy living. All of us here, other than Maddie, Maddie works out every morning, but apart from her, all of us here are eating fast food, not working out.
I am doing no energy drinks. So,
Remember when you fussed at me about that?
yeah.
No energy drinks.
So-
I mean, most of the energy drinks now have zero sugars and zero. So that doesn't help you.
But you
at
have to
all.
be like 18 years or older to drink it.
It's not true.
It's 10 calories in this one.
Energy drinks are not gonna.
what gets us
you
through.
Stop drinking.
Zero
it's not
sugar.
gonna
So I
make
did
That
the
and coffee.
McDonald's first.
I feel
Olive
better
Garden
since not
research.
drinking them.
Good.
I'll put it that way.
I've got the McDonald's
my-
versus
that
Olive
or the
Garden
soda.
research.
You feel better that you don't drink the
What?
soda.
So
Probably that too.
Probably the soda.
Yeah, I stopped drinking soda
McDonald's.
with caffeine too.
So
McDonald's update.
McDonald's Big Mac meal with large fry
Okay.
and large Coke.
Because
How many calories do you think are in that?
2,000.
no way,
2000.
1750.
14.
You're on the
25.
you're the closest one.
I'm healthy. That's why.
You didn't add in the large
Just
sweet tea.
It was a large Coke
There's no muscle
Coke,
there.
okay.
and large fry. 1360.
Wow.
Wow. That's all
Hot
you should
take,
consume in
son.
one day.
That is impressive.
I'm about to go eat some McDonald's.
Which is walking 326 minutes to burn all those calories.
Well, at this church, you can do that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I do that
Up
every
the
day.
steps.
Long.
Olive Garden, chicken Alfredo.
Mm.
Just the Alfredo doesn't include eating the salad or
Probably
the breadsticks.
1,800.
15.
12.
Christie's the closest so far.
15?
Wow.
1480.
Wow.
So
So
McDonald's,
say-
we're not crushing
And
ourselves.
I
It's not
can eat
bad.
The
Three of the
stuff in it
McDonald's for the
sucks
price of
for
it.
you.
But that's like what you're supposed to have all day long.
Yeah.
If you're trying to lose weight, like 1,200 calories is
Yeah.
what they say. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Obviously,
That's
I
wild.
don't count calories. I don't care. If I want to eat it, I'm going to eat it.
Well, we're not
That's
being
why you
up
work
either.
out.
I was about to say the reason she works out is because she wants to eat.
What I
Hey,
Jump.
eat.
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. That
So go eat some McDonald's if you
Again, I
BJ,
think
do you
Good
watch
stuff.
this? BJ, if
I
you
hope
watch
not.
this, put in the
Please don't
comment
watch.
section why McDonald's isn't healthy.
and
for
how
you,
we're going to
please.
die at age 40.
Please do that for us, BJ.
We did not. We're 40.
don't say that.
made it.
Christy, you're 4 years past expiration date.
No,
All right.
don't tell people.
What is something you've seen from Maddie and I in raising kids in ministry that you hope to emulate whenever you have a child and you raise them in ministry?
Great question.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Hit it.
Are you going first?
I would say the level of involvement. I would like to have that for my family. And it doesn't
How
seem,
involved my kids are in ministry.
Yeah, and even when they complain, you don't give them an option. And even when they complain, it's almost like their heart is still to do what needs to be done here. So it's like typical teenager stuff like, man, I want to go do this with whatever, but I need to be here to like maybe watch some kids for an event.
Yeah, if they're complaining most of the time, it's not about ministry. They would be complaining about the same thing if we were at the house.
Right.
Or if we were at the softball field.
Sure.
They're just complaining because they're teenagers.
Yeah, it's just a teenage thing. So that's what I would say. The level, I would love for my family to be that involved. If I can make that happen, job well done.
Awesome. Christy?
I was going to say the same thing, so I'll change my answer a little bit.
God.
My second answer would be that you guys make ministry a part of just what you do. So, for example, during the summer, the kids are out of school, so you do plan like, okay, on Fridays and Saturdays we're going to go do this and this, but we're also during the week I'm going to hire you for help. Hey, I'll pay you $50 this week if you can complete this task list for me. It gives them something to work toward, kind of like chores, but ways to earn money so they can spend it, blow it during the summer, however they choose, or gas money for your ones who can drive. So I love that you make ministry like, oh, this could be fun, and I can actually serve, but still clean, scrub toilets and still learn how to be a servant leader, but also get a little bit of money because you are doing some grunt work.
But you also make time. This is another thing. I like how you also make time for what they're doing. Like Cammie, you're making sure y'all are at her golf stuff. Carson with her soccer stuff. When like even leadership development, something that's on like I've got to do this. You're not afraid to cut a session where you're not in there so that you can go do that. So
you protect your family's time. Like, you know, I tried to schedule a meeting with my team and I said, look at your calendar. Does this date work? And you're like, nope, that's Cammie's birthday. So you know that's just a day that's just not going to work for you and your family. And you're okay saying that. Like you've learned the art of saying no is protecting your yes. I'm working on that, Maddie.
I love that word, no. My favorite word.
Yeah, I will say our kids aren't perfect, and they definitely are impressive to me.
They are.
I don't want to brag on them because I feel like if you asked me, hey, give me advice to raise my kid until they're 12, I feel like we could do a really good job of giving you advice to raise your kid till they're 12.
Yeah. Once they hit hormonal stage, there's no learning.
It's like the Wild
So
West.
it is the Wild West, and it's like
Hot topic.
You're dealing,
Hot topic.
hot take.
You're dealing with like one kid crying at the kitchen, but then the other kid threw something to hit the other
The
one.
girls
in
are
the other room.
fighting today.
They'll look at me wrong.
Because Cammie needed to get to the trash can. Carson elbowed her.
That's so awesome.
I mean, it was just like, what are y'all fighting about? Nothingness. Like, so our kids aren't perfect, but I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of where they are. But even like as they get to teenagers and then ultimately, you know, navigating the teenager years into adulthood, I think the struggle is almost every day. Like you don't know what you're getting. I told Carson one day, I said, I really wish it was like Rio's, where you like, you know, you flip up and if it's red or if it's green, like, okay, I wish I had a necklace that was like Rio's so that I knew is what kind of mood
Which
Carson was in.
personality you're
Right?
in today.
That's
you know,
smart.
she didn't think it was funny though because she was in one of her red moods. So
Her necklace would have been red.
She's always in a red mood lately. I love her dearly. I love all my kids dearly, but definitely it's so hard. It's hard to navigate them right now because they are all teenagers. Mm-hmm. They're all hormonal still and like just don't know how to deal with their emotions and deal with their happiness. Because sometimes if they're happy, they're like way happy and way uncontrollable where you're like, okay, calm down a little bit. But then you don't want to calm them down, but you're like, listen, you can't be acting like that. Like, I know you're having a great time, but like, chill out. You still have to be
like Cammie's
normal.
Because when they're happy, we love those moments and we want them to be happy.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
But and then when they're bad, I literally had to
Not bad when they're
at each other.
attitudes.
Yeah.
When they have really bad attitudes, I had to. Yesterday was a bad attitude morning with one of my children and the other one, and it almost makes you feel like a failure as a parent because you want to, and I'm being real and honest as a parent of teenage kids, girls right now, because Caleb is beyond the hormonal. Me and Caleb had a little bit of we had a rough couple 2 years because I don't understand male hormones, and he would, you know, rage sometimes, and I'd be like, Jamie, what is wrong with him? Like, has he got a devil in him? Something's wrong with him. And I know he didn't, but it was just I didn't understand the hormones. Mm-hmm. The girls, I understand their hormones.
And I don't understand the girls' hormones at all.
I understand their hormones, but I had to call my mom yesterday on the way home and was like, Mom, did I ever act like this? Like, what did you do to me to, like, get me to stop? And she said, I'll smack you across the face.
What would Mimi do?
The wooden spoon with the hole in
my
it. That was
goodness,
like her
we'll get
go-to
you
when we
every
were
time.
younger. When she never popped me in the mouth because I was a good kid. I did respect my parents and our kids respect us, but just like that attitude sometimes. And honestly, like sometimes I want to be mean and cut them down to be like, listen, you're not all that, and nothing is always going to go your way. But then
Balance that
you
with
think
love.
about it, and you're like, well, if you say that, you'll damage them for forever.
Right, they'll have trauma
So-
from
Yeah,
their childhood.
it's kind of like what we talked about on Sunday, where home doesn't need to be the place where your dreams are getting crushed, or home
Right.
doesn't need to be the place where you're getting torn down, because they're getting torn
'Cause the
down at
world does
school
that, yeah.
every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're getting torn down in the store. They're getting. I mean, it is commonplace to tear people down and to tell them, you know, what are those, and you know, where'd you get that from, and you know, I mean, it's just commonplace to assault people and who they are, and so that's the balance of, you want to put your kids in check, but you also don't want to crush them by putting them in check, because they may be, you know, Caleb was one of them, where Caleb would be, I'm the greatest, and then nobody likes me, and he would be on these highs and these lows, and when he was I'm the greatest of all time, you wanted to pull him down and say, no, you're not, but you knew that low of nobody likes me was coming, and so you're like, well, let's let him stay here, so maybe he doesn't go as low here. So it's a really weird balance that, you know, Caleb kind of worked through. And again, it's teenage hormones. I think everybody watching this that has teenagers probably would be able to chime in here. But for us, it's definitely something we're still working through with the girls. So I can help you for the first 12 years. After 12, I have absolutely no clue. It's the wild, wild west. It's like roping cattle. I don't
Can't write a
I got
manual
no
for
I
it.
got no advice for you at all.
Yeah, it's a bucking bronco.
Good
Hang
luck.
on tight and
Just
try not
go.
to fall off.
Grin and bear.
So, anyways, all right. So we're gonna start working out, start eating healthy, cooking meals, meal prepping, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a goal to work toward. Not a good goal setter.
After Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After Disney.
After next week.
Y'all going to Disney?
Next week.
Next week.
Yay! So excited.
I love Disney.
You excited, Johnny?
Yay.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not as
Best.
excited.
It's
Yeah.
the best.
It's so good.
It's
It's the
gonna
most
be
magical
awesome.
place on earth.
It really is.
The churches.
He said the
No,
church
there's
is.
no magic
Again,
in church.
another-
That's the Holy Spirit.
There's no magic at.
Hallelujah!
Hold on. Let me just clarify quick. There's no magic at Disney either.
That's not true.
They have fairy dust.
That's true.
Okay.
Pixie dust.
So, Disney for y'all. That'll be fun.
yes.
Hope y'all have a good time. Hope you enjoy, rest, relax. We can't wait to see y'all go, because we know you're going to come back even better as servants and leaders in the church because of your time away.
I hope so.
I hope so
It's
as
gonna
well.
be scary.
You don't really rest at Disney though.
Yeah.
Even though Johnny will probably be miserable in checking his bank account. Do you have one of those shirts that says
I'm broke.
I'm broke?
I
We
do
need to
if
get him
you-
one.
I have one if you want to borrow it.
I don't have one. I need to get
It's a
one.
ladies' medium. It might be a
A
little
little
tight
small.
on you.
Maybe when I start working out, I'll fit into it down the road.
Oh.
Put it on your leg.
Tie it around like a bandana.
I'm broke.
I'll just ride it with
I'm just so
permanent marker.
excited. We haven't been in a while, like a whole year.
Oh my god.
So many things have
Oh my
happened in a whole
goodness.
year.
Whole year. Things are changing.
Yeah.
I've been twice this year, and I'm going back for a third.
Maddie loves Disney.
Disney. If you're watching, I know, but if you ever want to, bless some other people besides Florida with cheaper season passes, that'd be amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that'd be so nice.
Come on, Disney.
It could
Hook a
happen.
brother up.
It could
Can
happen.
you imagine if we had season, like an annual pass?
No.
We could go all the time. Like every other weekend.
Every Friday on
At
our
least-
Sabbath.
at
We would
least
not
once a
go.
month.
Me and Christy would. You two can stay home.
Christy's on staff. She can't.
Yeah,
You're on
Friday and
staff.
Saturday.
You can't.
Ooh.
I know somebody.
I saw that look. I saw it.
I'll figure it out.
You're right. You can.
Look at him giggling over
You're
there.
right. You can. You can do
at him
whatever you want. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I don't know that you learned anything, but hopefully you got to see behind the scenes a little
How
bit.
unhealthy we are.
And honestly, I think it's really good to have conversations about how difficult ministry is. Not because I think from a place of people who love ministry, talking about how difficult ministry is. That way we're not tearing down ministry or bemoaning ministry. We're actually excited about it and love it, but understand that there is a very unhealthy side of it, physically, emotionally, mentally. So I think these are healthy conversations, and I think it's healthy for people to watch these sort of conversations. So remember, comment, let us know how many times a week you eat fast food. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Let's go.